What was your prison nickname?
No, I was the shoe man. I was the shoe man.
The shoe
I
man?
had a lot of great guys I was with.
To really see the redemption in you, it's interesting to see what happened. You guys got busted, where Jordan Belfort went to jail, I guess, and eventually somehow they got to you, and it must have been heartbreaking. You were on top of the world, and then they just pulled it out from under you.
Well, I knew it was going to happen.
You had a feeling.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. It's sort of like, there's nobody left to tell on. I was like left holding the bag, You
think that, and do you think you were treated fairly? Do you think you should have gotten it?
Yeah, I got what I deserved.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get ready for Jeff Ross. Do you have thick skin? Let's all come together.
Doggy, come here, Luna. You gonna be on the podcast? Come here, Luna. Look, you gonna be on the podcast? Be on the podcast. Welcome to Thick Skin with Jeff Ross. Life is hard. We're getting through it together. Hi, Ed.
What's up, bud? How
Great
you doing?
to see you, buddy. Got a great podcast for everybody.
Welcome back in town.
Thank you. We're going to have a great guest, Steve Madden. He's going to talk to us about the state of retail and how he built his empire into 250 shoe stores, how he lost it all, went to jail, climbed his way back to the top of the fashion industry. That'll be fun. Cool guy.
Yeah, very cool.
Steve Madden. And, of course, we'll have a roast in peace for Dog's wife, Beth Chapman. And we have some touchy subjects. It's great to see you, cuz.
Good to see you too, man. Welcome back in town.
Great to be home, man. Had a great trip. Went to Clusterfest, went to Newark and roasted the mayor of Newark.
Very cool.
Had a great trip. Happy to be home, though.
Yeah. No, of course. It's always best to come back to L.A., especially after a trip to Newark.
It was fun, man. It was really fun.
Raz Baraka.
The mayor.
We learned all about this dude.
He's a cool guy. I really liked meeting him. Got to hang out with him a little bit, and I never roasted a sitting politician before.
Really?
But since he won by 70%, I guess he's got confidence. He got reelected. He can take some jokes. And we raised some money for the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, which is right near where I was born, Beth Israel Hospital. So I met all the people who run that hospital, and it was really fun, actually. Reverend Al Sharpton was there, and
Cool.
a bunch of people who work on Cory Booker's Senate staff.
Tisha Campbell.
Tisha Campbell was there. Not a great set from Tisha Campbell. Not one of my favorite roasters of all time, but Bill did a nice job hosting it. Bill Bellamy, also from Newark. And and the dogs are not into Bill Bellamy at all. But I had some good jokes. It was fun just being back where my great-grandmother, Rosie, had a business in Newark, New Jersey, Clinton Manor Caterers, way before women ran businesses, really. So
Yeah.
a lot of pride in that city. I went to karate there. My karate teachers were all Newark detectives. And shout out to the Rosellis. And that's where I learned how to defend myself. Gave me the confidence to talk shit for a living. So Newark's a tough town, and they got a tough mayor. It was kind of fun, really, really fun.
How did the roast go? How was the Raz Baraka roast?
I said, it's an honor to be roasting the only Democrat not running for president in 2020. The Democratic field is actually just like Newark, overpopulated, and there's way too many bums begging for money.
Oh.
He took it really well. It was good. I got a lot meaner from there, but, I don't know. It's a private event. I don't know how much I'm supposed to say.
How was Al Sharpton?
It's all supposed to be off the record. Al Sharpton killed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then he left right when I went on. I wonder why. I think he was afraid. I said, Al seems to have left. He looks good, though. He lost a lot of weight. I guess he got rid of all that shit he was full of.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Really, really fun. I said, Chris Christie wanted to be here, but he heard they were charging $750 a plate, and he just doesn't have $12,000 to throw away right now. These are jokes we wrote together, so it was fun.
Oh, man.
I said, yeah, and this guy's interesting. Ross Baraka.
And just messing with the city of Newark's got to be fun, too.
Oh, my God. I went over all his accomplishments. I said, Ross, I love that you're making Newark a world-class city. When I was growing up here, the slogan was Newark. At least we're not Camden.
They're a sanctuary city now.
Yeah, I did that joke too. Wait, here's a clip.
He proudly declared Newark a sanctuary city that could never have happened back when I lived here. The tired, poor, huddled masses would have gotten here, taken a look around and said, fuck it, I'm going back to El Salvador. In case you haven't noticed, Newark has a new bike share program, which is way better than the old bike share program, which was involuntary. Newark was a finalist for Amazon's headquarters. We all heard about that tonight. I guess Jeff Bezos didn't think he could take a dick pic here without getting his phone stolen. So thank you, guests, dignitaries, and confused Amtrak passengers who thought you were getting off at Newark, New York Penn Station. Growing up in Jersey, I developed thick skin, and when bullies were picking on me, I used roasting as a form of self-defense. When that didn't work, my mom dragged me to the House of Empty Hands karate school in Newark. My teachers were all Newark detectives, great guys who taught me how to keep my guard up and take a joke. So I really do love this city. It makes me so happy to see it in the hands of such smart and talented people. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, so shout out to the good people of Newark, New Jersey. I like knowing that smart people are taking care of that town.
If people in Newark can't have a laugh at themselves, no one can. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
Tell me about Clusterfest. I missed it.
Clusterfest was a blast. The comedy festival that Comedy Central threw up in San Francisco last weekend. Man, it's a party. Just 1,000 comics and
Yeah. Bands and
did a really fun live read. I got to play the Wallace Shawn role from Clueless. You know, the teacher in Clueless?
Yeah.
So I played him in front of 5,000 people with a band, and we did a live Clueless read. Issa Rae played Cher.
Okay.
And
who did Alana Glazer play?
She played the role that
Brittany Murphy's role?
Brittany Murphy's role.
That makes sense.
And
already the cast is better, arguably.
Amanda Seales, Chris Redd from SNL played a role. Kumail Nanjiani played the Paul Rudd role. And, you know, Jill Sobel, who did the original I Want to Be a Supermodel.
Oh, yeah.
She made a fun guest appearance. She just ran out and jammed that song, rocked out with the band, and left.
So fun.
Back on a plane. She was nice.
I love that.
I've bumped into her a few times over the years. And I did a really interesting panel on mental health up there.
Wow. How was that?
It was good.
Was it funny?
At times, but
A couple jokes.
It's interesting. You know, it was me and Neil Brennan and Tig Notaro were the panelists, and Michelle Buteau was the moderator.
I love her.
She was wonderful. I'd never really worked with her before, and she sort of ran it, and I loved her. She was great. She was very thoughtful in her questions and didn't get too personal, but just personal enough. And I talked a little bit. We talked about depression. We talked about how we all get through it, kind of how we do on this podcast.
Yeah.
And we talked about Brody Stevens. The Clusterfest organizers put up a big sort of tribute area called the Festival of Friendship, and they had a big picture of Brody and a giant wall that said "Enjoy it." And all day long, they had picnic tables, and people could color fun messages, positive messages, and post them up on the Enjoy It wall and take pictures.
That's so sweet.
It was cool. And I told everybody how if I'm feeling blue, I put on Rodney Dangerfield.
It is the perfect cure.
Hey, it's like listening to the blues. No matter how bad things are, you never have it as bad as Rodney. No respect at all. My wife, I tell you, she's a bad cook.
How bad is she?
Hey, well, I don't know. Meatloaf was supposed to glow in the dark. Hey, in my house, we pray after we eat. Right? So if you're watching this and you're depressed, you hear a little Rodney, maybe that helps.
I went up to the bartender. He asked me what I want. I said, surprise me. He showed me a picture of my wife.
Hey, I'll tell you, no respect at all. No respect at all. But it was good. And then we did Roast Battle, which was really a great, fun, arena-style roast battle.
Yeah, man. I saw it was a huge audience. You guys started late as hell, too.
12:15 at night.
That's crazy.
On
That
a
must have
Friday
been a
night.
crazy audience.
And it was wacky. And we had a whole bunch of drag queens there because we had our first drag queen battle. See, it's Pride Month. We're in San Francisco.
It makes complete sense.
And drag queens battle.
That's what they do.
And
That's their whole thing.
That's how they survive being drag queens, being able to dish it out and take it. And shout out to Sister Roma and Heklina, who battled. They were wonderful.
It was great.
You never saw drag queens do dad jokes before, but it was great. It was great. And had some great battlers. Mike Lawrence, Earl Skakel, Robin Tran, Rosebud Baker. Fun. Jamar Neighbors, The Wave, Willie and Jeremiah were hilarious. And, of course, Coach T DJing. Brian Moses was the host. Love doing the roast battles. We're going to try something a little different up at Just for Laughs.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to do an international tournament. Roasters from many different countries
This is
competing
very cool.
in a bracketed tournament-style show.
How many people do you know?
I don't know yet. I'm thinking it's probably going to be about 16
Okay.
from probably like 5 or 6 countries.
That makes sense.
Maybe some teams and some coaches.
Man.
The Roast Masters Invitational, July at Just for Laughs.
July 23rd through the 27th, 4 straight nights.
Every night at midnight after you've gone to all the other shows up at the comedy festival, and this is the most fun you can have.
Yeah.
To go to a comedy festival, especially the Montreal Comedy Festival, where there's just so many shows to choose from, huge stars, new faces, and then at the end of the night, when you've heard it all, you go over to the Roast Masters Invitational, and I'll show you a good time.
We did this once before, years ago, and it's great that it's coming back.
Yeah.
man. I think it's really cool because there's roasters, comedians from all over the world are there.
Right.
And so it's going to be insane. People from South Africa.
We're going to make it like the Roast Olympics.
I love it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And I know we have some touchy subjects, but first let's do our birthday shout-outs.
Oh, only right that we do the birthday shout-outs. The first one is one of my personal heroes, maybe my favorite comedian of all time, comedic figure. I mean, he's a god. He's on the Mount Rushmore of comedians. Mel Brooks, 93 years old.
Can't say enough nice things about Mel Brooks. He was so nice to me over the years, and my Uncle Murray, when I wanted my Uncle Murray's basic last wish of life, his last bucket list item was to meet Mel Brooks. And Mel, I asked him, I begged him.
That's a big ask.
Have I mean, I don't know if I've ever told this story on this podcast
I don't think you have.
before,
I don't
but
think you have.
it was pretty crazy, man.
It was right after Jared's bar mitzvah.
Right.
Your nephew Jared.
My Uncle Murray came down here for a while to visit me.
He never been to L.A.,
Never
right?
been to L.A. I said to him months in advance, when you get to L.A., what's the one thing you want to do when you're visiting me? And he thought about it, and he looked at me, and he said, I want to shake hands with Mel Brooks.
Oh, boy.
And I said, that's not happening. What else you got? And the weeks went by, and he's finally there, and it's 4th of July weekend, and it's like the last business day. and I haven't heard back. I left a message, and then I wrote a letter, didn't hear back, and Mel's secretary said, yeah, I'm not sure where he's going to be. And then the last possible day, I'm in the bathroom, and I don't want him to hear me call Mel Brooks's office one more time.
Yeah.
And I leave a message explaining that, my uncle's in his 90s, like Mel, and
Yeah.
and he's only here one more day, and this and that, and all right, I'll let him know. I'm not sure. And I go to have breakfast with my uncle, and my tooth fell out. It's like 10:30, 11 in the morning. I'm like, Uncle Murray, guess what we're doing today? We're going to my dentist. I got to fix this. So I go to the dentist with him, and he comes with me, and we're driving around afterwards, and I don't know what to do. I'm just showing him Beverly Hills and the fancy houses, and I'm a little numb, my face, and I'm up at the very top of Mulholland, just driving around, and the phone rings. It's a 310 number. It's Mel Brooks' secretary. I'm up in the hills. I can barely hear her. I'm not even sure. Oh, please, all right, he's such a nice guy. Please, and hold for Mel. And Mel comes on, and he's like, where are you? I go, I'm going to lose you any second. I'm in the hills. He's like, all right, meet me in 45 minutes. And it was like easily an hour away, right? And we can't believe it. We're both wearing shorts coming from the dentist. And Mel Brooks is like, meet me in an hour, on the other side of town, over in Culver City at his office. And I see Uncle Murray. He's excited, and we stop home for 30 seconds, just a minute. We run in the house, we put on pants, comb our hair, put on a nicer shirt, get right back in the car. We head over, and
I love that you guys you knew you had to dress up for Mel a little bit.
And the funny thing is, like, Uncle Murray was always too cool for everything. Like, he'd been around the world, World War II, an Army medic, ate all the best food, had a great life, 2 wonderful wives he outlived, who both died of breast cancer. But just the purest, coolest, best guy from the greatest generation. And he's actually practicing lines in the car to say to Mel.
Like what?
What? Like, hey, it's good to meet the king.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, there's so many things you could say to Mel Brooks when you meet him.
Because that's his famous line from the movie. It's good to be the king from History of the World. And we get there, and Uncle Murray has very bad knees. He can barely walk.
Yeah.
And we park a pretty good distance, like the best parking spot you could get right next to Mel's car. But it's still a pretty good distance, and then it's up a flight of stairs. It's an old building on the lot, and there's no elevator. And that's the dog snoring in case people think it's me or Ed having a heart attack. And we walk in and we wait just a second. And Mel basically had said, I'll see him for 15 minutes. I'll see him for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, I think he said. He'll come by for 15 minutes. And we walk in, and they start talking. Uncle Murray does his line. Mel laughs, right? And They start riffing back and forth. They start talking about New Jersey. They start talking about World War II. They're both fought in Patton's army. They both knew the same deli owner from Newark, New Jersey. They both knew some of the same chicks from way back in the day from the East Coast.
It's amazing.
Next thing you know, 2 hours these guys are talking. I don't even contribute. Like, I don't want to interrupt them. Yeah. I'm there like as a moderator, but they don't need me anymore. Half the time, I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, right? These are 2 90-year-olds, happy to meet someone who speaks the same language, basically. And they had a great time, and I have a great picture. I'll post it of the 2 of them. I should have gotten in the picture, but I took it. Murray and Mel, and it was really great. And then we left, and Uncle Murray like flew down the hall, flew down the steps, and he was always sarcastic. You know, we called him Mean Murray because he busted everybody's balls. He was the first roaster I really knew. Yeah. He came out with pure joy, looked at me, and he went, "Wow, wow, wow, wow." He was on pure. He was like an 8-year-old who just rode Space Mountain for the first time. And it was a great, great time. And
that's so fucking cool.
The next time I saw Mel Brooks, the first time he said was, "How's your Uncle Murray? Wasn't I nice to him?" And I said, "Mel, and all Mel's friends were there at this restaurant. I said, "Mel, you know what? Let me tell you something. Any of your uncles want to meet me, it'll be fine." And Mel laughed. So happy birthday to the great one, Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks, 93 years old, man.
At this point, he's staying alive so he can play the 2,000-year-old man for real.
He's in the new Toy Story movie.
That's right.
Yeah,
Gonna go
man.
see that tonight. He plays one of the toys he grew up with, a rock. Mel Brooks is comedy royalty that can actually remember when kings were in charge.
Oh, man. It's also Richard Lewis's birthday. He's 72 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah, man. He played Prince John in Mel Brooks's Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Wow.
And he's the creator of the phrase, the blank from hell.
Right.
Yeah. And not only that, he's
The girlfriend from hell, the parents from hell.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite comedians of all time might be in my top, because he's just amazing. He was like a rock and roller. You know, I saw him at Carnegie Hall when I was an open micer. My girlfriend, Mindy, had a little bit of an expense account, and we went to see Richard Lewis at Carnegie Hall, and I still remember half the jokes.
That's great.
He's like, when I think about all the great, I was in the bathroom, and, you know, oh, no, I fucked up his joke already. He's like, when I think about all the great stars that have played this room, Carnegie Hall, I put a little extra paper down on the toilet seat when I go to the bathroom. Something like that. So, love Richard Lewis.
First
spent many a fun
show
nights.
I ever saw.
It was?
Yeah, him and Louis Anderson together
Where was that?
in Vegas at the Tropicana forever ago. My dad took me.
Wow.
Yeah, first. He was my favorite comedian when I was a kid.
Is that right?
Yeah. I loved him. I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was so much.
Of course,
fun.
you know why. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Richard Lewis, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and so many great spots. And great guy. A recovering alcoholic, which means he is not as fun as he used to be. But happy birthday, Richard.
Top 5 complainers of all time.
That's
Richard.
right.
Kelly Pickler, our buddy, 33 years old.
We toured with her to Iraq.
We spent Christmas in Baghdad with her.
Nice lady.
Wonderful.
Great performer. She's an American Idol winner.
Yeah.
Very patriotic.
All of the soldiers all they wanted was to hang out and get their picture with Kelly Pickler. She was the biggest star with us.
Yeah.
With those guys.
Cool chick. She's known for red high heels because when she wears flats, nobody can see her.
She's short, folks.
She's short. Oh, a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. So those are our birthday shout outs.
Mm-hmm.
And
How you feeling? You want to move on to some touchy subjects?
let's do it.
Touchy subjects.
So Trump tweeted today that our first touchy subject is that Donald Trump tweeted today that while in Asia, he wants to go to the North Korean, South Korean border
The DMZ.
and just shake Kim's hand and say hello.
Just for a little photo.
He threw it out there.
Really?
Yeah.
This is how it works. See,
He misses him.
Trump, the master diversion, right? Like, he's tweeting to dictators. He had private talks with Putin over at the G20 while we're over here watching these debates, watching these Democrats basically demolish each other.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's great. I mean, just the fact that he wants to just like, he's like, hey, maybe we can say hi.
Yeah.
That's what I do to comedians when we're in New York for a weekend.
Let's get it. Let's shoot 9 holes of golf and 3 journalists. Let's have a party.
Like, doesn't people like think it's kind of weird that his best buddies are Putin and Kim Jong Un?
Right, and he's giving like dead John McCain the finger.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and people love him. I got in a fight with my Uncle Louie. My Uncle Louie, he's a Vietnam vet, and he's a big Trump supporter. And last time we came to town, I was like, well, he always says something, you know, it's always some kind. I was like, well, you know, he's like friends with North Korean dictators, you know, so like that's who your guy is. That's like if Kennedy was friends with Ho Chi Minh.
Right.
You know, it's like, how would that go over?
Right.
You know, so it's insane. It's completely like 3 years ago, this guy was going to drop a nuke on us. Now he's our president's best buddy.
You got to wonder, is it making us safer?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Or like when he's out, what's going to happen? You know, so is it safer? I mean, the guy couldn't launch a missile across the ocean anyway.
Well, Trump can't get it up either. So there.
Did you watch the debates?
I did. I watched all of it.
What do you think?
A lot of fun. Gave me hope. A lot of talented people.
Yeah. It's weird to watch people argue and agree at the same time.
It makes me crazy because I just want to be up there so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Who do you think came out on top? Biden didn't do too good.
Maybe he didn't necessarily. Everybody was ganging up on him.
That's what's going on ever
That's
since.
what happens when you're the big cheese, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody gangs up on you.
It's so weird to look at these people that, you know, a year and a half ago, everyone up there, we all loved with every part of our heart. Now everyone has horrible opinions about every single person up there. It's really interesting to see.
What's your strategy to beat Trump? That didn't come up in 2 debates.
To me, that's the only thing I fucking care about.
And some of these people, they'll say, you know, one of the questions is, what's the greatest threat to America right now, or what's your first day in office going to look like? And most of the candidates answer about global warming and other things. But if I'm a parent of a child that was killed or injured in school, and that's not your answer, you say climate change, I'm like, fuck you. I can't send my kid to school? You're telling me about the ocean?
Yeah.
This is an emergency. So how could that not be the first answer? Maybe that's not sexy or popular and you don't want to sound like you're crying, but that's like blood spilling every day.
I feel like climate change is the one thing pretty much everyone can get on board with.
So that's why they put it.
Yeah, and like, you know, but the other thing, people are worried about losing voters with with guns. People are gunheads. People who want guns.
Mayor Pete said the NRA's on the ropes.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're not doing well.
They're not?
No. But you know, they'll always be fine. People love their guns, man. You want a gun? Would you get a gun now? Even because you used to want a gun. We haven't talked about this in at least 2 years, probably.
Right. I just didn't want to go through all the paperwork you have to do.
Yeah.
In the states that I live in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, New York, it's pretty much impossible.
Right.
California seems like it's kind of easy. There's gun stores all around.
Maybe I have one. Weirdos listening.
I got one, so.
Well, if you got one, then I got one.
Oh man, what do you think? I mean, is it worth it? Would you get one still?
I think so. I don't see a harm in having a gun in your house to protect yourself, but it's when people have assault weapons that I go, oh, this is just for psychos.
Yeah.
Nobody needs this. I have my nunchucks and a very good security alarm.
Yeah.
And Luna, right, Luna? Roar!
Luna would fuck up anyone who comes near this place. It is pretty crazy. We have to keep her down here right now just because the pool guy's coming over later.
Yeah,
we just want to make sure he lives.
She literally would eat the pool guy. And she hasn't even seen his bill. If she saw his bill, she'd really bark at him. What's next, Ed?
This isn't really a touchy subject, but I loved it, and it made me so happy that I wanted to bring it up. Breakdancing is about to become an Olympic sport. In 2024, when the games come to Los Angeles, they've greenlit breakdancing, man. This is gonna
As
be
a sport in the Olympics.
It is a sport. It's insane. You got to be so talented and strong to do that, man.
I'm calling it now. Sweden is not going to win. I'm excited for the after party at the Olympics. That'll be fun.
Yeah, man. It's the thing that I need that I didn't know I even wanted.
Right.
It's gonna be so friggin' cool, and it's gonna be in L.A.
What could get you laid faster than an Olympic gold medal in breakdancing?
It's better than a Medal of Honor.
Shout out to the breakdancers.
Yeah, there's already an Olympic sport where horses can dance, so I'm glad people can do it now too.
What's next?
A Russian man, oh, this one's crazy. I love these stories. A Russian man was mauled by a brown bear and kept in its cave for over a month before he was able to escape.
A Russian man mauled by a bear.
Yes.
Kept alive.
It was kept because that's what bears do, apparently. When they kill something, they bring it back to their cave and wait for it to decompose for a week or two, and then they eat it because the skin's mushier and it's easier to eat. I had no idea about this until I read this article.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy who is is only known as Alexander because it was the only thing he could muster up to say. He can barely open his eyes. He looks like a mummy. It's really disgusting. If you want to find a picture of him, go ahead and look at it. The guy looks horrible, but he survived for a month by only drinking his own urine.
They call this a Russian bar mitzvah. If looking like a mummy and drinking urine can keep you alive, Courtney Love will live forever. I once spent a month hiding from a bear, but then again, I was living in West Hollywood at the time.
You should have gave him his picnic basket. This wouldn't even been an issue.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. That is terrifying, though. Just in a bear. It was found by hunter's dogs.
Right.
Small town. The dogs found him. Man, just being in a bear's cave for a month. The dude can't walk. I think it broke part of his back. I love bear attack stories. I mean, we've talked about it before on this show.
Why don't the guy couldn't just get up and somehow get out? How did he live? Who found him?
The hunters. The dogs heard him making noise or smelled him or something, and they ran in the cave and found him and started barking. And the guys went in there and they're like, "Oh my god, this body must have been here for years." And then he's like in 7 when the guy comes back to life. It's fucking terrifying. Yeah, he could only open his eyes, speak very little. He couldn't even say his last name.
I don't know why, but I'm guessing this guy probably didn't have that big a vocabulary before this happened.
Yeah. He lives close to Siberia. So there's not much going on over there. Living in bear caves.
All right, let's do this happy story.
Happy story.
It's Pride Week.
It's Pride Month. And the gay penguins at the London Zoo are celebrating.
Woo!
That's right. The London Zoo is home to the most famous gay penguin couple.
This made me so happy. Reggie and what is it? Ronnie and Reggie?
Ronnie and Reggie, that's their name.
I love these two. So these are two male penguins that adopted an egg. Mm-hmm. Basically had a baby, shared parenting responsibilities, and their baby has since grown up and left their nest, but these two male penguins still nest together and snuggle together. And just for the record, I think it's disgusting. I think it's wrong. I don't think penguins should. No, it's beautiful.
It's great.
So the zoo is decorating the zoo for Pride and having a Pride night.
Yeah,
that's fun
in honor of the gay penguins.
Apparently, this happens because there's other gay penguins couples at that particular zoo.
Yeah. Well, no. They're not the only same-sex couple at the zoo, but they're the most famous. Right. Yeah.
They're always wearing tuxedos when they're the socialites of the zoo. Hello, I'm Reggie. I'm the bottom. I'm Roger. I'll give you a good rogering. Quack, quack, quack. We're the cup of the penguins. Love wins. Penguins are funny, and
they're the coolest of all the birds.
How do you even know if a penguin is male or female? They have penguin penises?
Of course. Duck penises are corkscrews.
If a dog saw a penguin, would the penguin chase the dog or would the dog chase the penguin?
I think it would depend on how big the penguin is. Some of those penguins get real tall. Those emperor penguins,
Right.
they get like 4 or 5 feet. Those fuckers are huge.
Remember March of the Penguins?
Love that movie.
Remember Farce of the Penguins?
I know that you had a small part in Farce of the Penguins.
Bob Saget's animal documentary voiceover comedy movie, Farce of the Penguins. That's a fun rental.
There's a great Werner Herzog movie called Encounters at the Edge of the World. You got to see this movie. It's rated G. I love Werner Herzog movies. It's all about who the fuck lives in Antarctica and why do you live there? And then they go and they find a bunch of penguins and they shoot the penguins for a while. And one of the penguins starts walking in the wrong direction. And then Werner Herzog is so hilarious. He's just like, look at this penguin torn with torture and it's hot. Walking into the nothing, clearly committing suicide in front of us all. It's a great film. Go check out Encounters at the Edge of the World.
Shout out to the penguins, the straight penguins, the gay penguins, and the poor single penguins.
And Danny DeVito, too.
And Danny DeVito. Shout out to Danny DeVito. Who's neither male nor female, nor gay, nor straight. He's just the big double D. Danny D. All right. This is fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of an easy week. Nothing too horrible happened.
Except we did lose somebody that everybody loves.
Oh, I mean, Hawaiians must be depressed for the first time ever.
It's time to talk about Beth Chapman, the wife of Dog the Bounty Hunter. She passed away this week. Oh, I met her once.
You met her.
Yeah.
What was she like? How were they?
It was at the Charlie Sheen roast.
Okay.
At the after party, they came into the VIP, and she was so wasted. Now, how wasted do you have to be for Charlie Sheen to go, get that fucking lady out of here? So it's time to send her off. Rest in peace, Beth Chapman.
Beth Chapman, the wife of Dog the Bounty Hunter, passed away from throat cancer.
She was 51 years old. Yeah. I'm wearing spandex today in her honor. This is a hard one. I just need some time to mull it over. To mull it over. God needed someone to round up all the angels that skip bail. And Hawaii lost its 2 biggest mountains. Beth died of throat cancer, which makes sense from all of Dog's shit she had to swallow. She Hulk Hogan. I heard at the funeral they're doing a 21 mace can salute.
Her husband was named Dog. All right.
Our is the poor guy has to go on. Shout out to Dog the Bounty Hunter. Met him a couple times. Always a nice guy. Mm-hmm. He's got to be feeling the pain.
Yeah. You think he buried her bones himself?
Aloha, Mrs. Dog. May you rest in peace. Arr, 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 arr. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Feel your pain, bro. Hang in there. I walked into Craig's restaurant not too long ago, and Steve Madden surrounded by women. I was like, who is this fucking guy? Found out he owns shoe stores all over the globe. And he has an interesting story. There's a documentary about him on Netflix. And we got to talk to him about how he built his empire, how he lost it all, how he fought his way back, what he learned from prison. We talk about criminal justice reform. We talk about how he got through the blues and what he's doing now and next. So check it out. Here's our interview with shoe designer and mogul Steve Madden. I wandered into Craig's restaurant yesterday, and I saw a guy holding court. Hey, I got to start over. I'm sorry. It's
That's
never
okay.
happened before.
That's all right.
It's all right. What's going to happen? It's not like your outfit's going to suddenly be in fashion.
Thick skin. What is it called?
It's called thick skin.
Thick
Life
skin.
is hard.
Shit, what did I get myself into?
You're in the bunker with comedians
I know.
now. And Steve Madden, he's a legend. He's an absolute legend. He's a shoe mogul. You don't hear that very often, a shoe mogul. And when he was a young man in 1991 or 1990 with $1,100, who gave you the $1,100, by the way?
Just scraped it together.
You just scraped it together.
Yeah.
And he's turned it into a $3 billion company with over 300 or 400 stores. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
How many of those stores have you actually been to?
So I've been to most of the stores in America, but not a lot of the stores around the world. There are a lot of stores in Mexico.
Isn't it fun to walk in?
It's fun, yeah. It's good. It's fun to walk into a crowded store, I can tell you that. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world. It really is. It's like having like a big party, and everybody's at your party. But it's also conversely not fun walking into an empty store.
Right.
Yes.
It's like an empty comedy club for me.
There
Wait,
you go.
what happened? Where'd it go wrong?
That's right. Like having a party and no one comes.
What about retail? Do you think there's hope, or is it over?
It's just changed.
How do you get people to get out of their house
Pardon the
and go to
expression.
a store these days?
You know,
It's got to be, well, let me just try. It's got to be because they want to see the new thing, right?
yeah. When it's beautiful out, it's not a problem getting people into the stores.
Right.
Where the internet has killed retail is any sign of rain or anything, nobody goes into stores anymore. And that's the big difference. People saying, oh, everybody is, on their phone and all that stuff. But when it's beautiful, you'll see people out. Any bad weather, they stay home now. And that's the problem with
So
retail.
then you got to open stores in warm climate malls, places,
Yeah.
right?
Well, everybody's got their spate of bad weather, so it feels like the climate has been, I don't know why, it feels like we've had weird weather in the last few years.
Yeah, it's called global fucking warming, Steve.
Yeah. Are you a global warmalist?
I'm a global roaster.
You're a global roaster?
I believe in global roasting, not warming.
Yeah. Actually, it's true. It's definitely warmer than when we were kids, when I was a kid.
I was curious about you, and I watched your Netflix documentary, Mad Men. Mad Madden.
Mad Men. Not to be confused with Mad Men.
Mad Men?
Yeah.
But no one could ever confuse you with anybody. You're like a one-of-a-kind kind of person.
Yeah.
But the baseball hats, is there ever one that you won't wear? I saw you wear 30 different fucking
Did you
hats
really
in
see
one
me wear 30?
documentary.
Yeah.
I want to give you a baseball hat.
Give me a baseball.
Why don't you make a Steve
I want a Jeff
Madden
Ross
baseball hat?
I want a Jeff Ross baseball hat.
That's fine. I'll
Let's
get
do
you a
it.
Bumping
Get me
Mike's
one.
hat.
I want something.
But now let me
What's
ask
your
you
Netflix
something.
special going to be called? That's the hat I want.
Bumping Mike's.
Bumping Mike's. That's what I want.
I'll give you
Okay.
one. I have one on my hat rack outside.
Good. On the rack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you wear it? Will you really
I
wear
will.
it?
I'll wear it everywhere.
That'd be great.
Yes.
But you're a man of fashion. Wouldn't you sport a nice fedora or, I mean,
You know what? I may wear a fedora the next time I see you.
when you get dolled up, you go,
No,
you
or
don't,
no hat. No hat.
No hat.
I mean, no hat in the shower. Sometimes I wear a hat in the shower.
where do you get your ideas? Are you in the shower? Are you on the toilet? Are you at the gym? Are you playing with your kids? When you go, hey, here's a good idea for a shoe.
I steal most of my good ideas.
Is that right?
Yeah. So,
You can't
Then
go to jail
we're alike in that regard.
All right, you get a bump for that one.
I made a professional laugh.
That's great. You're a funny guy.
Okay, not really. Not really.
I saw you on Donnie Deutsch's premiere his show the other day.
Yeah.
I know that guy from the Friars Club. He's a nice guy.
He's a good guy. And that was his first show, and wanted to lend him a hand.
Would you rather talk about fashion or business normally?
I don't care. I'll talk about anything with you.
Do you see them both as creative pursuits?
Absolutely. On a serious note, I think creativity takes many forms, whether you're, designing shoes or writing jokes or just thinking creatively how to make a new business. And, I think that's a problem that sometimes grown-ups do with their kids is they think that creativity is drawing something on a piece of paper.
Right.
And when it can be many, many things. I couldn't draw as a kid, but I was my mind was very active and thought of a lot of different, had a lot of ideas.
When you design your clothes, do you draw them or do you?
No.
So you didn't.
When I have an idea for a shoe, I describe it to someone and they do it. Usually, that's how it does.
Okay, so can we play act for a second? This
Sure.
is so interesting.
Yeah.
So like, you have an idea. Maybe it's something that already exists. Like, what does it sound like? Like I saw like the classic platform sandals.
Right.
So you go, all right, it's a platform heel. Like, you'd have to know all the terms.
Yeah,
what type of
you
leather.
know all the terms. Yeah, sure. I grew up in the 70s. I went to high school in the 70s.
Right.
And
In New York.
platform. When I first was a kid, platform shoes were very big. It was on all the rock stars,
Right.
Elton,
Ziggy
and
Stardust.
Ziggy
David
Stardust. I
Bowie.
saw a Ziggy Stardust coaster.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of
We
me.
did that for you.
Yes, thank you. And they all wore these platforms, and it was very much influenced me in the 90s. Those platform shoes, and that's how we sort of started.
You're a rock and roller.
Yeah, I guess. I grew up with rock and roll. I like rock. You like rock and roll too?
Of course.
Yeah.
You think music and fashion, would one exist without the other?
No, it's very much, they're very linked. It was always influenced by the pop stars and still is, and what they wore and their attitudes and stuff like that.
John Mayer is a good buddy of mine, and he would always get upset when we go to a concert and we see a legend, somebody we love our whole life, when a rocker stops wearing boots on stage and moves to like orthopedic
sneakers.
type sneakers
Yeah.
because they can't handle it anymore.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring that up because I saw him,
John.
Mayer,
Yeah.
and I saw him with the Grateful Dead.
Right.
And he was wearing a really cool watch.
Yeah.
And I went and got the watch because he had it.
Oh, see that?
Yep. And it was just 2 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah. He
Well,
had
he's
this
big
white
on
band.
watches.
Yeah, it was great.
I opened for him, and he does a two-man act with Dave Chappelle, and I opened for them New Year's Eve at the MGM Arena in Vegas, and John threw an after party for us
Yeah.
in the Rolex store.
He's a big watch guy. I
And
heard.
I'm like, could I think of a worse way to buy a watch than after hours in Vegas at a Rolex store that
Yeah.
opened just for us?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about getting ripped off.
Yeah.
But it was a fun thing.
He's great. He's one of my favorites.
He's amazing.
actually. Yeah, he's great.
The musicians must come to you.
Not really. I mean, we make shoes for various musicians over the years. Certainly not the musicians I listen to.
Right.
Jimmy Page never came to me for shoes. But
I've seen in your documentary, you talked to Izzy, you talked to Katy Perry.
yeah, we made shoes. Yeah, Katy Perry actually was in my store. She sung that song, "I Kissed a Girl," and I liked it. Yeah, and I did a collaboration with Iggy and
Iggy Azalea.
Cardi B. I did a collaboration with Cardi B.
If Cardi B married Sting, she'd be Cardi B Sting.
Cardi B Sting. Yes.
You can use that next time you
Yeah,
see her.
I can't wait to
tell her
use
that joke for me?
Yes. So I've worked with a lot of pop stars. We did shoes for Madonna, and
Does she wear shoes? I always just think she's naked.
you're just thinking of that old video when she's writhing on the floor like a virgin.
The whole reason I went into comedy, honestly, if I really had to look at myself, was to meet women.
Yeah.
Now, somebody said to me, if you can make a woman laugh, you can make her do anything pretty much. It's very, it gets to their emotions. And as I think about it, and I was thinking about you coming by today, I was like, the one job that would be better for meeting women than comedy or rock and roll would be shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, you make women taller. You make women feel good about
I just
themselves.
want to say, you are a handsome bald man.
Thank you.
You really are. I'm looking at pictures of you with hair, and you look better bald. And in honor of that, I'm taking my hat off.
I think it's a good move.
I'm taking my hat off to you.
Thank
'cause
you.
You are a handsome bald guy.
I really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Usually it's just black guys look better than white guys.
Yeah.
that are bald.
Why is
Did you ever
that?
notice that?
That's
I'm
what they
so
say.
jealous of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, black guys, every one of them. Michael Jordan, boom, bald, handsome. White guys,
Or we
but
look
not
like,
you. You look very good.
You-
and I
you-
see a picture of you from high school, and you look good bald.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now I see you with hair over here. You look better here, bald.
That was a bad year.
What year was that?
That was about 6 years ago.
So you just shaved it all off recently?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shaved mine off in prison.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny you say that because I shaved mine right before I did a show in a jail.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I shaved mine off.
So you were like, yeah, I got to look tough.
I
or-
had a comb over. You know, it's like the 7 stages of denial when you're bald.
Right.
You know, but you know, you try to hold on as long as you can, and you know, you do the comb over. You do, you know, you cut it short in the front, long in the back. It's not good. And then you just the worst stage. Here's
Yeah.
it's just before death is the ponytail stage.
Right.
That's the worst stage of all.
Right.
I went through that stage. It was really bad.
No, ponytails aren't good.
I barely recovered from it. So then I was in prison. I met these Albanian gangsters
Right.
who put me up against the wall and said, "I'm going to give your barber a beating. You know,
Wow.
we're going to kill your barber. You look terrible." And they shaved my head, and it's been great ever since. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got off easy in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Well,
good.
you got your head shaved, and that was
Head
it, huh?
shaved. Yeah, it's good.
I think for a comedian, you know, I had a big like Jufro.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, that's one thing, but when having a cleaner look,
You look great.
it brings
You do.
the focus to your face, to your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. You look.
This is
it's good.
again why, as your new friend, I'm going to say, I think you look better without the baseball.
I like it. This is
If anything, a fedora tilted up.
I can't do the fedora thing. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You haven't found the right one.
Yeah, maybe I'll search for one.
It would be a great.
search
It would be
for
a great,
Yeah.
off-brand, another brand
Yeah.
for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen the Gorn Brothers hats? They make nice, good travel hats.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah.
No, I have not.
I could see you designing hats next.
So, have you been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Of course.
You have, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I saw you there once, maybe.
Maybe I don't.
Perhaps.
I've been to their events in New York.
Yeah,
and
I went-
I've been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Yeah. Did you go to in the Waldorf? There's like a party at the Waldorf.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and you know, my friend Brody Stevens, who passed away this year, used to have a great joke about the band Nickelback. Remember Nickelback?
Yeah, I do.
He'd always say, "I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and you know what they have? They have a Nickelback tour jacket at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame." And I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, it was in the Lost and Found."
Yeah. Nickelback is the standard for bad rock and roll bands. It is. It's the gold standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is it true? You know, when you go into shoe design, the women just want to meet you and talk to you. The guys ask you for advice.
It certainly wasn't true in my case.
My cousin Kenny used to run the women's shoes department at Dillard's in
Atlanta,
in Colorado.
Colorado.
Not.
And how did he
Denver.
do? He racked up.
He racked up.
He racked up.
He racked up.
Yeah.
Not just sold your shoes, but he met a
Yeah.
lot of chicks.
Yeah.
too.
That's
What is it
usually
about
good.
women in shoes?
You know, I started in a shoe store. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 17 years old, and I went to work in a shoe store in Cedarhurst, which is one of the 5 towns.
Right.
I'm sure
Long
you've heard of the
Island.
5 towns,
course.
right?
Lawrence and
Yeah,
Huntington.
I'm from Lawrence.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, I was bitten by the shoe bug, and I never stopped. You know, I've been selling shoes ever since. Yeah.
men's shoes. I always feel like they're 3 times the price of women's shoes because we buy so few.
We buy so few. It's terrible. I'm in the men's business.
You
also.
are? You
Yeah.
make men's shoes too?
I do good. I have a great men's business, but it's not my passion. You know, like women's shoes.
Women's shoes are so much more interesting, right?
Yeah. But you know, I tend to like industrial. Are those Gucci shoes you're wearing? You're very fancy.
Well, you can thank my stylist.
I
Roger,
see. You got
over
a
here.
stylist here.
Roger, thank you for the Gucci.
You're very welcome, sir.
Yeah, well, all my friends wanted to come down because you're a big shot.
Yes, I'll get to meet your stylist, and he's going to help me and get me some new T-shirts.
When you started that
Perhaps.
company, how old were you?
When I started Steve Madden,
Yeah.
31.
See, I started a company right out of college, video production, and I happened to be in the Marbridge building on 34th
Oh,
Street,
yeah.
the shoe building.
Sure, yeah, that's
so
the shoe building.
every office on our floor was in the shoe business.
Yes.
Except me and my partner from college. We were
That's
in
funny.
film and video production.
I was there. I've worked in the Marbridge building.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right there in Herald Square,
Herald
in
Square.
New York
Used to be a
City.
good deli on the corner, Wolf's Deli.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, very good.
And there was a Nathan's there, and of course Macy's across the
Yeah.
street. Probably good research for you.
Yes.
And I miss those days. I used to love the Garmentos. I had
Yeah.
Garmento
Well, that's not
girlfriends and
quite. You did. You had
Oh, yeah.
Garmento. Did you make your tour of the Garment Center?
Mindy Sandler. You know who you are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mindy Sandler. Can you hear us?
Everyone knew Mindy. She worked for the guy who made the jeans, Jordache. She sold Jordache jeans.
she did. Yeah. Was she cute?
She's beautiful. I'm sure she's still beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Well, contact us, Mindy. Contact us if you're out there. Yes.
Style 34.
Very good. Where did you get that from?
I watched your
Oh,
documentary on
so
Netflix.
Style 34.
Will you tell
those
people
are-
what that is?
I forgot it. I mentioned that's a secret.
So if you're ever in a shoe store and you hear someone yell "Style 34," show the lady "Style 34." What does that mean?
So that's a bit like a magician sharing his magic. you know.
Sorry.
We don't do that, but I will reveal it now to this podcast, to the hundreds that will be listening
Yes.
to this. When you say show Style 34 to Amy,
Yeah.
it means get her out of the store. She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
She's going to make you bring out 40 pairs, and she's going to walk out with nothing.
Amy, my manager, is here. Amy has nice shoes. She always has nice shoes
Yeah,
on.
she's very stylish, Amy. She
She
really
is.
is.
What kind of shoes you wearing?
They're Fiorentini Baker.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Steve?
Yeah, they're nice. I like them very much. You better have my shoes. I'm sure you grew up with my shoes. Only wore my
Jeff will
shoes.
allow me to say. I mean, I'm from LA and I grew up in the grunge.
Yeah.
I graduated in the 90s and
Yeah.
I only wore your shoes.
Well, that's great.
The Mary Janes and the blue ones. And it was like yours, you and Doc's.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody wore your shoes.
You know, when I met with Lady Gaga, and I went to see her about doing a collection with her. I drove up a mountain, and she was just becoming big in Bel Air. She lived on the top of a mountain, and I was like, I was like, I'm so happy to meet you. I like your record. And she goes, I'm so happy to meet you. I only wore your shoes in high school.
Wow.
You weren't cool unless you had Steve Madden.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Lady Gaga's, and she's even bigger star now.
She's one of my all-time favorites. I think
she?
she's amazing.
Yeah, I think she's great too. She writes great melodies and great musician.
So you build this company up
Yeah.
over years and years and years and years. And I was watching a documentary, so I really got to follow your story,
Yeah.
which was interesting because you kept saying that it wasn't enough. You wanted to get bigger and bigger
Yeah.
and bigger.
Yeah.
And then we tell people what happens. You meet Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort, yeah. So
If people
I mean,
don't know, there's a movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. It's a
So-
fascinating movie, and
Sort of
your
my
company,
story, yeah,
your
yeah.
company kind of got entangled in that.
Yeah. So anyway, you brought up something, we're switching from serious to joking, but, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I grew up with an insatiable desire to succeed, and, nothing was ever enough. And so I got in trouble.
Were your parents proud of you when you first made it big?
I don't know. I think so. Maybe, I don't know. They never let me know, really. But my mother did at the end of her life. She did.
She did tell
She
you.
did tell me, yes. Not my dad, but, we're just always trying to. They say that entrepreneurs are always trying to get through to their dad and trying to make their dad happy. That seems to be. I suppose that's what I was doing.
My dad passed away before I even went into comedy or even finished college. So I always wonder, what would he say? And, and I'm jealous that you even had that kind of
Yeah.
moment with
But
your
mom was alive.
No.
Your mom. Oh,
No.
so your parents died young.
Yeah.
Both parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So none of that. I was never trying to make anybody proud. Like none of that mattered. I had to always do it for myself.
Yeah.
So I always feel like, in a
Yeah.
way, that was oddly freeing. I didn't have I didn't have the Jewish parents. Is your mother
Yeah.
Jewish or Irish?
My mother's Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dad's Irish.
Irish. Yeah.
That's a weird combination.
Yeah, very strange.
That's a lot of ish.
A lot of ish. So, there's a great line. The greatest line about that is Steven Spielberg's mother.
Right.
She said, if I'd have known he was going to be Steven Spielberg, I would have been much nicer to him. It's like, I don't know who wrote that for her, but it's like a great line.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yes. It's a
But
good,
you did it. You did it. I mean,
So, yeah,
the company,
I did
the
it.
company became what the equivalent of a double smash hit record.
Yeah. We became, and we
Isn't
are.
it funny? Because I always bring it back to like what I was thinking when I was a kid. I always knew I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a rock star. But something inside me said, you'll be a rock star, but you're just not going to play music.
Yeah.
And when I see like footage of you at these signings in the 90s and these public appearances, and even still today when I see you out, I saw you out last night, and I know, and you're in all these stores all over the world. I mean,
It's so funny that you say that. We all do want to be pop stars. Kids either want to be, Michael Jordan, or they want to be Mick Jagger.
right.
And I would bet you that most would rather be Mick Jagger than
Right.
Michael Jordan. I mean, the kids that we grew up with.
Probably.
Yeah. And, or Paul McCartney, or whatever, but, that's true. That's a motivating thing. But I can't carry a tune.
But you're a rock star
Yeah.
in your field.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel that. I think that.
Yeah. I've always felt like the Elvis of the shoe business, and I couldn't, because I was different from all the other executives in the shoe business. And when we started, we were this small little company, and I was always wearing baseball hats and doing all this stuff. And
You didn't have a corporate image.
No. But we outfoxed them all. And,
How?
we were very in tune with what girls wanted to buy. That was the company credo or the company mantra. I can hear somebody making fun of me out there for saying it. Mantra, his mantra, his mantra, his mantra. But our mantra was to make shoes that girls like. We were really focused on good product. That was everything. We really cared about it and still do.
Is it true that you used to hang out at malls and stores and talk to women about their shoes?
I did and still do and did today at the Grove.
Have you ever been arrested for that?
I haven't. I have to.
For that?
I talk about it in the movie, but honestly, because I'm older now, I have to introduce myself. Otherwise,
Of course.
it could be a little embarrassing. But say, listen, I'm not a perv. I'm Steve Madden. I know you don't believe it, but I really like your shoes. I talk to women about their shoes all the time.
Of course.
And I used to do it as a kid. That's my thing. I like to get on the street. I've pulled cars over, gone back a half a block, stopped a woman. Where did you get those shoes?
Have you ever taken a big design swing and said, this is going to be the biggest thing ever, and you missed?
Many, many times.
Really?
Many times, yeah.
So it's just about a
Yeah,
numbers
many times
game.
we've done that. We take a lot of risks, but less often now. I mean, we've been pretty good. Of course, it happens, You get a little self-indulgent, perhaps.
I see.
I think I've made that mistake when I get too maybe wrapped up in going back to a different time in my life. And I'll say, well, I'm going to make this shoe that was big in 95, and I'll make it. Or I made this one shoe when I was a kid, I remember when I was a kid, I worked for a shoe company. And I smoked a big fat joint. Mm-hmm. And I went to the golf course. I swear this is true. And I wore Bass Weegians. And I cut the tongue off the shoe.
Huh.
And so the penny was right on what they call the vamp of the shoe.
Right.
And it was the day that Grace Kelly, Princess Grace, drove over a cliff and died. Oof. And I called the shoe the Monaco.
Uh-huh.
And it became one of the biggest shoes. And it wasn't my company then. The Monaco was like my first big hit.
Right.
And
that's probably when you knew you could be off on your own.
And it was, actually. And then I brought the Monaco back at Steve Madden, and it was never the same. It was never the same.
It's like a song, to go back to the rock star analogy. You have a shoe, it's a classic. Sometimes it's a classic. Sometimes it's a hit that kind of people forget. And sometimes you must have a pride in it.
It's a different thing, though, because we're still making shoes, but the Rolling Stones are not making new records. It's a different kind of a thing. So I love the Rolling Stones. I mean, they're older guys, whatever, but they really haven't made a record in 20 years, right? Or 25 years?
They put out songs,
No,
but
they're
they don't resonate the same way.
No, but it's not like Brown Sugar.
No.
You know, or like Jumpin' Jack Flash, but they did it when they were like 26.
Right.
Right? My best stuff is now. I'm 61. My best stuff was when I was 50. So we have an advantage over pop stars in a way. I mean, of course, we still want to be them, and it's the greatest thing in the world. And from the moment I saw, you know, Paul McCartney, you know, sing "Hey Jude" when I was a little boy, like it turned my life around. You know, it was like I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Right.
You know, it was that thing. So, but you know, it's hard for them to keep going. I don't know why.
What makes you keep going? You could bow out. You could retire. You could sell your company. You could probably do other things that interest you.
You know, I went into the music business, and it's
What was the label called?
and it's terrible. It's the worst.
When was this?
It's recently, in the last few years. Terrible. I thought that it's called Five Towns Records. And I thought that if I found a great singer and I found a great writer, you know, I could be like, you know, like this matchmaker and give these singers, just record this song, you know.
Right.
But, and
You
I'm
got to stay in your lane. This applies to comedy too. It's like somebody says to you, "Stay in your lane." You could take that as an insult, or you could take that lane and make it a 5-lane highway. And I feel like that's what you did.
Yeah. Well, I don't like if stay in your lane is,
It's condescending.
We should challenge ourselves.
But
and it's
Dave
okay
Chappelle said that to me.
Dave Chappelle.
We were very good friends, and I was lamenting that, I'm the roast guy. You know, I don't like being.
And he said, stay in your lane.
And he said, I said, you know, it was more like he didn't mean it as a dig. He meant it as a compliment.
Yeah.
He's like, you're really good at that.
Yeah.
Make that lane wide.
Yeah, that's cool.
And ride it.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
take that to different ways, you know.
Yeah, no, that's
Don't just
cool.
roast celebrities, roast inmates in jail. Roast
that's great.
people on the border.
Yeah.
Roast the audience, you know.
Yeah. Red Buttons was a great.
The best.
He was great.
Right.
Nobody knows who he is today.
Never got a dinner.
Never got a dinner. Red Buttons.
Steve Madden, who wears free hats, never got a dinner.
Never got a dinner. Never got a dinner. What's the name of the show in Netflix? I want that hat.
Bumping Mics.
Bumping Mics. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want that.
I'm going to go get it for you.
Yes, I must have it. It's a must have.
I have a new show coming out on Netflix called Historical Roasts.
Yeah.
Who was the first fashion designer that has that people remember? Is there anybody in the Bible?
I think it was Harriet Tubman.
Maybe you're right.
I don't know why I said that.
Well, she definitely needed shoes.
Yeah. She needed shoes.
She did.
No, but those outfits back then were great anyway. You know, the founders had wigs and, you know, poofy. They were very interesting. You see George Washington. Yeah. Actually, a lot of pop stars. You know, when I was a kid, there was a group that dressed up like the Paul Revere and the Raiders. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one more shoe question.
Okay, go ahead.
And
Let
I
it
want
rip.
to ask you about the FI and the Dough Fund, if that's okay.
Sure.
Because I love this stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
interested about that. What's your philosophy on dog do with shoes? Do you clean the shoes or you toss the shoes?
No,
What do you,
I think you could. Depends on the density of the dog shit. The density.
My
is
mother
what's-
would never. I mean, I realize that we're talking about, you know, $20 Converse in the 70s, but my mom would never clean the shoes. They would go right out the car
Yeah.
window, wherever it was.
Well, some people think that's really good luck. To
Really?
step in shit. Yes, they do.
You got your brand new Steve Madden.
It's-
You're an hour out of the store.
Yeah.
You're walking down the
Have
street.
you ever been shit on the head by a bird? I actually have. It actually happened to me.
Really?
Boom.
Good thing you had your shitty, cheap baseball
That's
hat.
right. Yes, that's true. So, yeah. So, you want to talk about the Dough Fund?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Dough Fund for a second.
I mean, you want to tell people the context of how you became interested in giving people second chances and working with people that have been incarcerated and mentoring people.
Yeah, and you do a lot of work too. And I
do
know
my
that
fair
work.
share.
You do a lot of work.
I was at the White House recently for a
getting him ready for prison.
criminal justice. Yeah, exactly. No, they had the Van Jones's organization, Cup 50,
Yes, yeah.
invited me. Essentially,
great.
asked Donald Trump to invite me to the White House for a celebration of the First Step Act, and there were 500 people have been released on this. On
Yeah, I
this
want to
new
say,
law.
I was going to say there's a lot of Trump bashing going
Yeah.
on, but that's something that he worked with the Van Jones
Right.
people, and it was great. And we need to do more stuff like that.
And
it's
what's-
really wonderful.
it was
what they did,
amazing.
and they got it done.
And these people who had been in jail 5 or 6 weeks earlier were suddenly on stage with the president. And
Yeah,
if
that's
you're in
great.
jail, you don't give a shit who
Yeah.
the president is. You want to get out.
No, you just wanna get
There's
out.
no politics. But one thing that was fascinating was Walmart has been. They mentioned Walmart had hired some of the people that were there who had just gotten out. And you know, you come out of prison, you have a stigma. You know, nobody wants to hire you. But you know, you were. I'll use the word lucky enough to meet people when you were locked up that you took to, that you understood.
Yeah.
They deserved a second chance. That I think I heard you say. You know, somebody bad doesn't mean does something bad doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Yeah. So I think it's important, and I've given this some thought, is that there's really talking about African Americans, and I think it's important that we get a little honest here. There's a terrible problem with incarceration with African Americans, and it's unfair, it's disproportionate, and it's too high a percentage, you know, and
It's about minimum drug sentences.
yeah, it's terrible, and we're just warehousing people, and so you know, for a white guy like me, to talk to Michael Cohen, give him advice on prison,
Right.
but really,
I heard this. I
It's-
heard this on Donnie's Deutsche show.
yeah, it's we
you
really
had dinner with.
Yeah, I had dinner with him, but really, the problem is not that. The problem is we have too many black folks locked up.
Right.
And we need
It's
to-
modern day slavery.
We need to cut to the chase.
Yeah.
We need to get, and it's a problem. And, we're destroying communities, and some people need to be locked up. I'm not getting into any of that and all of that.
Of course.
But
But most
we
people-
passed these very severe drug laws.
90% of everybody in prison is going to get out. There are
Well, there's some
neighbors.
severe drug laws, and it needs to be proportional. I mean, giving kids 20 years for
a
selling
couple-
cocaine, and when most white people are doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's hypocrisy there. Not that they're blameless. I'm not trying to say that. And certainly if someone holds up a liquor store with a gun, they shouldn't be put away. But
They should be.
they should be put away,
Right.
absolutely. But
But somebody sells 10 grams of weed, and especially in a state where it's now become legal.
It's
Could you
crazy.
imagine being in jail? for
100
something
plants,
that's since been
100
legalized?
marijuana plants was the mandatory minimum was 120 months, 10 years for 100 plants. And you could walk to Abbott Kinney now and buy weed in a store. And, you could buy it in a lot of states. It's the hypocrisy is staggering. And
And you came out and you started to do this stuff right away, or
so
did you have to sort of?
But I just want to say, for a white guy,
Yeah.
My chances were much greater than a black man. I mean, I don't have to. I probably don't have to show. I don't have to show my resume.
Right.
I mean, it's a little unfair, and I do believe in second chances. But this is an injustice that needs to be. I will talk about it.
And how are you
Forever.
helping? How are you helping?
I'm not. I just think it's good to talk about.
But I mean,
no.
these
I'm involved in a few things, and the Doe Fund is a great organization. It's run by a guy by the name of George McDonald and Bradley Solomon, and they house and give convicts jobs, and they give them housing. There's just not enough beds. They have facilities in 3 boroughs, and so they get contracts from the city, and mostly cleaning stuff. But they get off the streets. They get a place to sleep, and a chance to get back on their feet. And we could do a lot more. We could do a lot more. It's there's a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage that we've done. The society's done.
You hire people for
I've
your
had
company.
a lot of people. I've had I've had
stores?
some great guys that I was locked up with that I got jobs. They're the coolest dudes, great guys, and they all have great nicknames.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a shout out. Come on.
There's Swole. There's Nugget. There's Head.
What was your prison nickname?
No, I was the Shoe Man. I was the Shoe Man.
The Shoe
I
Man?
had a lot of great guys I was with.
I hope I'm not impolite for asking.
No,
How
it's
long
a-
were you were in there? About
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
And it's because of business, white collar business stuff.
Yeah. White collar. I got involved with
guys you grew up with.
with Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Right. Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
He
and-
came by the roast battle once. That Jordan Belfort. He's a character.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Very smart guy.
And he's still like out there. He's a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That's pretty. So has he done a full circle? He's like a good guy now?
I guess. I'm not friendly with him anymore, but I mean, he's trying to help people.
There's
give
that
him a lot of
iconic
credit.
scene that Jake Hoffman, who I love that guy, Jake Hoffman, he plays you in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
And the DiCaprio's character, drags Jake Hoffman into to meet all the brokers because your company's going public. This is in the mid '90s, I guess.
Yes.
And it's a really, really wonderful scene where you're trying to show them your new platform design. You're really just an artist trying to show off your new product, and they just start throwing shit at you and yelling at you. And they made you rich like that day.
It's true.
They took your company public.
And the movie was dead right. That's exactly what happened. I got up. I was a little nervous. There's 500 kids yelling, young animals.
Brokers,
and I'm like trying to talk about. I didn't know what to say. And this shoe, And then when I made this shoe, and they're like, "You're an asshole," all this stuff, throwing stuff at me. You wear your own shoes, and. It was crazy. And that really happened.
Wow.
That really happened. And I remember it. It was an awful day.
Now you know what it's like for me every night on stage.
Yeah. Did you ever have that? Have you had nights like that?
I've had nights very early in my career where I would have very, very rowdy audience. I once had a guy walk on stage and just take the mic out of my hand. I've gone through it all, but nothing quite like that with... But it's still Wall Street's not as bad as it was, but it's still pretty rowdy.
Yeah,
I go down there every now and then to visit friends and stuff, and so what happened? You take your company public, and I mean this is fascinating for people because to really see the redemption in you, it's interesting to see what happened, and I guess it was part of that whole 90s crazy overindulgence where you guys got busted, where Jordan Belfort went to jail, I guess, and eventually somehow they got to you, and it must have been heartbreaking. You were on top of the world, and then they just pulled it out from under you.
Well, I knew it was going to happen.
You had a feeling.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. It's sort of like there's nobody left to tell on. I was like left holding the bag.
You think that, and do you think you were treated fairly? Do you think you should have gone to?
Yeah, I got what I deserved.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I heard you recently say, and forgive me if this is not right, but you don't think Lori Loughlin should have gone to jail?
Yeah, I did say that. Somebody attacked me outside of a restaurant at one of those shows, and I said, and I was walking, I wasn't thinking about what I was saying, and he's like, he's trying to make jokes about her going to prison, and I was like, no, don't say that. She shouldn't go to. I don't want to see her go to prison.
But it is kind of funny, isn't it?
It's funny, and she, we just talked about that. Everybody hates this poor girl. I don't even know.
She's
know
lovely,
her.
lovely. I've met her.
You know her?
Well, I would know all the Full House guys. So yeah,
but I don't know her, and. But everybody has really got it in for her. She's like the poster child, sort of like the 1%, kind of like, that kind of thing where people are just, Everybody hates her. And
Well, we have enough people in prison. You don't need to.
Yeah, no, but-
she's not dangerous.
but just to clarify what I said, it was dopey what she did.
Right.
I mean, if you hear about it, it was
Right.
like, really? You really need to do that? You have a wonderful life. Your kid can find their own way. They have every advantage. But do you want to throw this woman behind bars because she tried to help her kid? And the other thing is, people have been paying to get their kids into schools for 100 years in this country. That is a fact.
Of course.
And so
So
I was just saying, let's have some proportion here.
So this podcast, and I don't want to keep you too long because this podcast is about. It's called Thick Skin.
Yeah.
You know, getting through life.
Got to have it with you. Go ahead.
And so now you're a man who's a self-made millionaire. You're on top of the world, and you find yourself in prison. What do you tell yourself to keep going? What's keeping you positive? What helped you? You know, I know you taught people while you were in there. You taught a business class while you were in prison.
Yeah.
Which to me, I was most amazed by that, because if I was in prison, I'd be like, "Fuck the world! I'm not doing any of that. I want to keep to myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to read. I'm going to whack off, and I'm going to go to sleep."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to start going. I'm going to help people.
But you do that on the outside.
I do.
You
My
know, I
life
know
wouldn't
you do
change
that.
that much,
Yeah.
really.
No, but see, the thing is that outside of the whacking off,
To me,
you gotta try
that
to stay sane.
that showed
So
your
you
integrity.
think you're going crazy. There are times when you really, you're in bondage. I mean, it's really hard. You're like. You speak to your loved ones, or they come on visiting day, they go home, and you're back there, and so you're one is trying to come up with ways to stay sane, and one of the things that I did was to I did a lot of exercise, keep moving, try to keep my brain moving, and then the other thing was to teach class, and I thought it would be interesting to talk to these entrepreneurs who sold crack.
Right.
Because they really are entrepreneurs, but unfortunately, what they sold was illegal and poison, I might add.
So, what advice did you give?
And to try to take those, talents and try to put them towards products that are legal,
Right.
and try to, get them to think that they could do this. Perhaps if you could find something that people want, that you could do that. Or to at least try, give it a shot, because going to prison is a dead end, and it doesn't you lose all your money, and all that hustle, it goes for nothing.
Do you think in some ways maybe it saved you, or maybe made you a better person?
Oh, there's no question about it.
Really?
Yeah, it saved me.
That's a
There
beautiful
are times
thought.
it made me a better person, I think, and then sometimes maybe not, but it definitely saved me. Yeah.
That's a great thing to hear.
Yeah.
It's another reason to give people second chances. It's another reason that what you're doing by hiring people that are formerly incarcerated is such a wonderful thing.
And you bringing shows into the prisons is a great thing. You give a lot of hope to guys, and it gives them something to look forward to. It's cool.
I think if you can laugh at yourself, then that's the first step towards rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Kind of owning it.
I said that on Donnie's show. I think that Cohen has to sort of own. I don't really have a judgment about him. I mean, I did have a judgment.
Just so it's not random for people listening, I watched this interview. You were on Donnie Deutsch's premiere episode on MSNBC the other day, and I guess you're a mutual friend with Donnie and Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's lawyer, who went to jail today.
Yeah, he went today.
Donnie asked you to sort of give him a little prep talk.
Yeah,
Pep talk, perp talk. What'd you tell him?
He has to find his own way in terms of character. He's got to find his character, He's got to find it or not, But he's going to be okay. And he's going to be with other guys that made mistakes, and he's no better than them.
He's at the same jail as Mike the Situation, who
Is it? I didn't-
roasted Donald Trump with me.
Is that right?
Am I next?
He's in Otisville.
Am I
It's
next?
just that it gets very cold there in the winter.
In jail.
In
prison.
Otisville.
Right.
I think it's upstate New York.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of Orthodox guys there.
You told him that you said on that Michael Cohen, he's not a bad person, but he did a bad thing. Is that sort of how you see a lot of people who make mistakes?
I certainly think it's the case with him. I think he made some mistakes, and I don't know that he's a bad person.
That's very nice of you to
I
go
would
to talk to
see
him.
Michael Cohen. He was always very nice. I've always seen him be nice to people. Now, that doesn't dismiss, I'm sure that Dutch Schultz was very generous and nice to people before he killed people.
Right.
Before he whacked them, But the Dutchman.
Right. Gangster.
Yeah, gangster from the 20s. But I've seen him be very nice. I've seen him with people. He got caught up with a very swaggy, scene, with jets and women and golf courses and stuff, and he got caught up in it. And he's a human being. So
That's nice that you talked to him, took the time, because obviously guys going to prison, everybody turns their back on them.
yeah,
And you went to him.
yeah.
That's not a judgment on what he did wrong.
No, we don't know. That's I don't really know all the things. I know that.
Well, when I go to the jail
I know that
shows,
he paid that girl off.
when that's what lawyers do for
Yeah,
rich guys.
That's right. That's right.
That part.
But there are
it's
things
lying
we-
about it and everything else.
There are
It's
things that we
complicated.
don't know. I think there's some things we don't know, and I don't know. I'm not suggesting that I know.
But when I do my shows in jails, I never I never prejudge the people. I don't ask what they're in for. You just take them on face value
Yeah.
and assume that they're on the road to getting better.
Yeah, Richard Pryor does a great bit about going to the penitentiary.
What do you say?
He says he sees a guy in prison. He goes, "Why did you kill everybody in the room?" So
Everybody, I highly recommend the Steve Madden story, Mad Men, on Netflix. I watched it. It's really fun. And this is so cool, dude. You're an interesting guy, man. And I normally have close friends on, but for some weird reason, maybe it's because you look like Mel Brooks or something in his 50s.
Yeah,
I don't
Mel
know what it
Brooks.
is. I feel like I've known you for a long time.
do I look like Mel Brooks?
Maybe because you dress like my landscaper.
I don't dress like Mel Brooks. I dress like your mechanic. Yes, on Wonderland.
You're a shoe mechanic.
Yeah, I'm a shoe mechanic. I like that. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's next for you, Steve Madden?
I'm going to be starring in the Mel Brooks story.
Why'd you come to L.A.?
I came to LA. I had some business out here.
Did it go well?
It's not finished yet.
Right.
But I had a little business, and did a little show business and a little business, and it's, I always love coming out here.
Right.
I love Los Angeles.
A lot of really nice feet here. Do you
It's great feet.
do you have a
and
foot fetish?
I don't have a foot fetish.
I do.
But I have stores out here, too.
Right.
Great stores.
I-
Santa Monica and Beverly Hills, and I have a new store in
Will you
the.
tell us one sexy foot story? Some woman somewhere just must have.
No, I don't. I don't have that story.
I know you have a girl. Whatever. I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
But
I would say that shoes can make girls feel sexy. They really have the ability to completely change the line of their bodies. With one shoe, everything can change.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm happy to bring that to women all over the world.
all right, Steve. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming down to the bunker today.
It was fun to be here.
You seem like a really good guy. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's Steve Madden. Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Cool dude, Steve Madden. Cool dude. It was you love meeting moguls, people who are just like figure it all out, man. That dude, I don't know. I love that shit.
It's cool.
Yeah. All right. So that's our show. You got to check us out. Check out Historical Roast. It's on Netflix. What's up?
I'm just psyched about it. Everyone loves it. I was just in New York. Millions and millions of people have watched the show. They love it. Get through it. I want people to see the last couple episodes already.
Those are my favorite ones,
People
personally.
are working their way through it. Muhammad Ali episode, people say might be the funniest episode.
Super silly.
Shout out to Julio White as Muhammad Ali.
Dude, I loved him. And he was Just I never dealt the most professional person I've ever worked with.
So much fun.
Oh man! Also, while you're on Netflix, check out Bumping Mics. And if you can't watch Bumping Mics on Netflix, and you can see them live, the tour continues.
We have so much new material. Dave is on fire. We're like so connected right now.
Yeah.
I know we have a little break now, but come back in August, September, October, November. We're doing dates. We're adding dates.
That's right.
We're going to be up in
Bow, Washington, at the Skagit Valley Casino on August 23rd and 24th. You're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina for one night on September 25th at the Night Theater.
I've never been there. That'll be fun.
Charlotte's cool. I got a lot of friends. I'm sending them there.
Invite your friends.
They're coming. October 4th and 5th, Huntington, New York at the Paramount Theater, Dave's hometown.
Those probably are. They might be sold out yet, but maybe not. October 4th and 5th. I got some special plans for those shows. Dave's turf.
Is he going to bring his mom?
Maybe. That'd be fun.
Talk him into it.
That'd be fun.
October 19th, Prior Lake, Minnesota, the Mystic Lake Casino. And then the day after that, on October 20th, you're going to be in Winnipeg at the Club Region Event Center.
That'll be fun.
Into it. Montreal Comedy Festival, the Roastmasters Invitational. And guess what, guys? We love your feedback here at the show. Rate and review us on iTunes. Check us out on Spotify and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's my favorite way to check out the podcast.
Yep.
I actually watch it now. Before, you almost like, we used to do it and it'd be done and be out of my life. But now I sit down and I really enjoy it. The Macaulay Culkin one's doing great. A lot of the comments are fun and a lot of them are crazy. But, what are you going to do?
It's okay. We've had a lot of very diverse guests on.
I love it, man. Email us at thickskinwithjeffross@gmail.com.
What other show could say they've had Macaulay Culkin and Steve Madden on?
Back to back.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, man. I got so happy the other day. I picked up my dress shoes and they were Steve Madden's.
Really?
I had no idea.
As a man, he has man shoes?
That's right. He's got man shoes big enough for my big old hot ham
I
hocks.
love
I'll tell
that.
you that much. Instagram, Thick Skin with Jeff Ross. Twitter, @ThickSkinCast. And you got to get your emotional support human t-shirt. Hold it up. There it is, baby. Emotional support human on the front, Thick Skin with Jeff Ross on the back. You can get those at roastmastergeneral.com/merch.
How much are they?
They are $30.
Ew.
I know. What are you going to do? We got to,
$30. No, they're
The
cool.
podcast is free. The shirt's $30.
Right.
That's how it goes. All right, guys. We love you. Man.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Life is hard, but don't worry. We're getting through it together.